Hey everybody, Kayla in the garden today, and I want to talk about not what's in my garden today, but what's in other people's gardens, specifically farmers markets, okay? What everybody else grows out there, what I don't have in my garden yet, and I want to talk about how cool that is, okay? Over the weekend, the husband and I went to the farmers market, not like the really, really big one downtown, but the one it's got a pretty good following with vendors. There's probably 30 to 40 of them. They're all spread out now, of course. They take up a lot more room, so it looks bigger and more impressive than what it really is. But a fair number of vendors, and every so often we get lucky and we get some really cool vendors in that bring all sorts of odd things, okay? It's not just your red tomatoes, your green beans, your cucumbers, which don't get me wrong, those are fantastic, okay? But there's so much more to life. And I mean, you've got seed catalogs that has like thousands of seeds. So clearly there's something to this more variety, right? Okay, so farmers markets. What's cool about them is that you can go find the weirdest, strangest thing ever and, pay a buck, $1.50, $3, whatever. Taste test this instead of buying the seeds and then dedicating real estate in your garden and a lot of time just to find out you didn't like it. Okay, so over the weekend then at the farmers market, we found things like a bottle gourd, okay, called Oppo, O-P-O, and apparently it is a taste between zucchini and cucumber. Obviously we haven't found out yet, okay, but I want to taste test this to decide whether or not we like it. Okay, we got that. Next thing we got, yard-long beans. I am so excited to have found these. Super cool. And actually, I'll confess, it's the second time I bought them at the farmers market because we enjoyed them so much the first time around. So this is going to be a definite planted item in my garden next year, okay? The next thing we found, bitter melon. I've read about these, I've looked at them in catalogs, never found them until Saturday. And so far so good, definitely bitter. But you take each end off, you cut in half, you scoop out the inside. Then you got to get rid of like the pith, so it's kind of like a reverse citrus fruit practically. You scoop out the insides, get rid of them, and then eat what's left. So far so good. I might be growing this next year. We'll have to let it kind of grow on us. Then the other thing that we picked up, I love this thing. Seriously, how cool is this thing? This is the Cucozzi squash. It is a Italian heirloom squash, and this is funky. I love this thing. It's super cool. I hope I like it. I have no idea what it tastes like. I assume a Italian heirloom squash, squashy, maybe nutty. We'll find out later this week. And I hope it does well. The guy that we talked to at the farmer's market said that it doesn't really have any pests, which is a good thing because I have such a difficult time with things like squash bugs and vine borers. And it grows, it sounded like kind of like a loofah does. So it grows up and has a long growing period until it, buzzed by something there, and another one, until like midsummer, and then suddenly it just starts exploding outwards and then just gets covered in fruit. So that's what the loofah did last year. So if this goes over well with the family, next year, in place of the birdhouse gourd, which is going nuts, we might be planting this Cucozzi squash as well. So not the birdhouse gourd, but in place of, because we don't need two crazy things back there trying to take over the garden. So while we still have summer left and we still have farmers markets in full swing, go visit yours. Try out something that you've never tried before, something that's a different color, maybe something, maybe you don't like zucchini. Get a different kind of squash. They don't all taste the same, okay? Find the Asian growers. They have some really cool things that I know I haven't tried probably half the things on their table before. And I'll be honest, if I had found ground cherries at the farmer's market, I may not have grown them. They're too sweet for us. I know my family doesn't like that much sweet. It's like a one-note sweet to us. While, hey, not the watermelon, while the pineapple flavor is amazing to get from a berry, I wouldn't have put 8 of them in my garden. What was I thinking? So check out your farmers markets. It's a great place to taste test before you dedicate garden space and a lot of time to that one thing you may not be sure that you like. Awesome. Have a great weekend.